Story 1. The first night, the halls were so quiet I could hear my own heartbeat. The second night, someone knocked on my door, but when I opened it, no one was there. By the third night, the knocking came from inside the walls, and I knew I wasn't alone. I just lost my job, drowning in debt. So when I saw an online ad for a winter caretaker gig at a hotel in Colorado with crazy good pay, I jumped at it. The job was simple. Stay there from October to April. Make sure the place doesn't collapse under the snow. I drove up the mountain, the wind biting at my skin. The hotel loomed ahead. An old, dark building. Like time had forgotten it. Snow fell hard, blurring everything. On the gate, I noticed a rusted sign with the number 237 scratched into it. Weird. But I shrugged it off. Stepping into the grand lobby, I felt a strange chill, not just from the cold. The chandelier overhead flickered, casting weak golden light. Every step echoed, like the whole building was listening. I spotted a tiny number carved into the door handle, like someone meant to leave it there. Something felt off, a cold that sank into my bones. I told myself, "You're imagining things. It's your first day. Chill." But my heart was racing faster than I wanted. The manager sent an email with some rules that sounded like a prank. Don't go into room 237. Don't touch the mirror in the main lobby. If you hear a voice calling and see no one, don't answer. I laughed it off. Who believes this nonsense? But his voice on the phone was flat, dead serious. When I checked the email, the sent date was 3 months ago, even though I'd just gotten it yesterday. It creeped me out, but I tried to ignore it. That first night, I was in bed, trying to sleep, at exactly 3:13 a.m. I heard a soft knock on my door. My heart pounded. Who's knocking in the middle of nowhere? I opened the door, hands shaking. The hallway was empty. Not a soul, just darkness and cold. On the door, I saw a number scratched in, like it was fresh. I shut it. Told myself it was the wind, but I didn't sleep that night. The second night, the knocking came back, louder, like someone was pounding. The clock still read 3:13 a.m. I ran into the hallway. The lights flickered like crazy. At the end of the hall, a blurry figure glided past and vanished. I yelled, "Who's there?" No answer. On the wall, I saw a smudged mark, like someone had scribbled something and wiped it away. My heart felt like it'd explode. This wasn't my imagination anymore. I couldn't stand the no mirror rule. I went to the main lobby, stood before the huge, dusty mirror. I looked in. That's me, right? But the reflection didn't move. Then it smiled. A cold, creepy smile, while I wasn't smiling at all. In the mirror's corner, I saw a faint scratch, like an old number worn by time. I stumbled back, pulse racing. Was the mirror broken? Or was I losing it? Curiosity got the better of me. I went to room 237. Despite the warning, the door wasn't locked. It creaked as I pushed it open. A rotten stench hit me hard. The room was empty, dust coating everything, except for one thing. An ancient, decaying suitcase in the corner. On it, the number 237 was carved deep. I knew I shouldn't, but I opened it. I wish I hadn't. Inside the suitcase was a group photo from the hotel, dated 1921. Strangers in 1920s clothes. Then I saw my face, right in the middle. Not just similar, it was me. My eyes, my nose, my smile. In the photo's corner, the number 237 was scrawled messily. My hands shook. The photo slipped to the floor. How was I in a picture from 100 years ago? A brutal blizzard hit, burying every exit. The power flickered, on and off. I was trapped, completely cut off. No phone, no internet. No one knew I was here. I found a map in the office, but every hallway seemed to spiral back to the same battered, splintered wooden door. One I swore I'd passed before. The darkness felt like it was swallowing every way out, and the hotel seemed to whisper, "You're not leaving." Then I heard whispers from the walls, saying my name, talking about a party. Kids' voices mixed with old, raspy ones. I pressed my ear to the wall, trying to make it out. "Come to the party," they said. "You belong here." On the wall, old scratches seemed to form a familiar shape, but I couldn't look too long. I shouted for them to shut up, but the whispers got louder, like they were mocking me. That night, the ballroom lights flicked on by themselves. I stepped inside and saw a 1920s gala. Shadowy figures in vintage clothes danced and laughed. A waiter appeared, offering me a drink. On his tray, a faint carving, like it had been there for years. I said no, but my arm reached out on its own to take it. I couldn't control it. They all stared, smiling, like I was one of them. I lost track of time. Every clock I checked read 3:13 a.m. Days and nights blurred together. I wrote in a journal, but by morning, the pages were filled with frantic scribbles, like someone tried writing in the dark. I started questioning reality. Was I really here, or was I dead? Stuck in some kind of hell? I looked at my hands. They didn't feel like mine anymore. The last night, the knocking was frantic. Not from the door, but inside the room. The door flew open, and there it was, my double. It stood there, grinning the same creepy smile I saw in the mirror. On its chest, a faint mark, like something carved long ago. Then it crumbled into ash, leaving the stench of room 237. I screamed, but no one heard. I had to get out, no matter what. Rescue crews came, digging through the snow to find me. They looked at me like I was a ghost. They said the hotel had been abandoned for 40 years. No one hired me, no manager, no email. Room 237. It never existed. They found me in an empty room, clutching that ancient suitcase. But I swear, I lived those days. I saw those things. And those hallways, they always led back to the same place. I left the mountain. But sometimes, at 3:13 a.m., I still hear the knocking. Last week, while unpacking, I found the 1921 photo in my bag, even though I never took it with me. Story 2. I signed in under a fake name, Andrew Clark. When that rusty key locked the door behind me, I thought I was safe. But then I realized something worse than any lie I'd told. My real name might not be real at all. July in Nevada is a furnace. No rain. Just heat that blisters your skin and your mind. I'd driven 11 hours straight. No breaks. Fleeing a life unraveling. A soul-sucking accounting gig. A warrant for dodging debts. And a hollow ache that I wasn't who I thought. I pulled into the Desert Rose Motel off a crumbling highway. Its neon sign buzzing like a dying wasp. A guy named Norman, mid-20s, opened the office door, his smile too tight, asking if I was alone. Just need a bed, not a friend, I said, forcing a chuckle. He handed me the key to room 4. I didn't know I'd stepped into my own nightmare. The room reeked of damp rot, wallpaper peeled like sunburned flesh, and the bathroom sink had a crusty, blood-brown stain along the rim. I'm no coward, so I shrugged it off as grime. Under the shower's freezing spray, I tried to wash away my past, but the air thickened, like eyes were boring into me. I told myself it was just road fatigue. I was lying. That night, I noticed a cheap desert painting above the bed. Slightly askew, I went to fix it and stopped cold. A small hole, dime-sized, pierced the wall behind it, perfect for spying. My gut twisted, but a sick part of me felt alive, like I craved being watched. I slapped duct tape over the hole and lay awake, heart pounding. The next evening, Norman knocked, inviting me to dinner at his house, a dilapidated shack tacked onto the motel. Curiosity or something darker drove me to say yes. The dining room was frozen in time. With a table set for two, I sat. But the other chair stayed empty. Norman served meatloaf, his hands trembling, and spoke to the air. "Don't bring strangers home, Norman," he whispered, voice sharp as a blade. I laughed, thinking it was a quirky act. His eyes said otherwise. I ate quickly and bolted, back in my room. My phone buzzed Jake, my old college buddy. I didn't pick up, too rattled. Later, I heard the office phone ring. I crept closer, ear to the wall. Norman's voice was calm. "No Ethan Morgan here. My real name." I hadn't told him. I checked my phone, no missed calls. Just static hissing from the line. My skin crawled. By the third night, I couldn't sit still. I snuck into Norman's house, needing answers. The place was a mausoleum, dusty, silent, stinking of decay. Upstairs, a bedroom door hung ajar. Inside, a woman's corpse sat propped in a chair, her floral dress rotting, silver hair a tangled mess. Norman's mother, but I'd heard him talking to her yesterday. Her voice clear as a bell. My breath caught, and I ran. I didn't get far. Norman blocked the porch, his face unnaturally still. "Mother doesn't like strangers," he said. But his voice wasn't his, it was high, cold, feminine. "Your trouble." Norman, his head tilted, eyes vacant, like a puppet on strings. I shoved past, my pulse roaring, and barricaded myself in room 4. Her voice echoed in my head. Not his. I came to in a locked storage room, head pounding. Door bolted. Norman's doing. A metal box sat in the corner, stuffed with photos me, in places I didn't know. Me at a carnival, laughing. Me holding a knife, blood dripping. A notebook in my handwriting read, "Andrew Clark, day 31. Ethan's fighting to resurface." My hands shook. I didn't take these photos. I didn't write this. Did I? It crashed over me like a desert storm. I wasn't running from Norman. I was Norman, and his mother, and Ethan, and Andrew. My mind fractured flashes of women checking in, their faces blurring, their screams fading as my hands silenced them. The missing women in the news, I wasn't just aware of them. I was the reason they vanished. I sank to the floor, choking on the truth. I tore through the motel's records, desperate to disprove it. Every room had a guest, but none checked out. Receipts, all in my handwriting. Listed names: Sarah, Lily, Anna, each a mask I'd worn to hide from myself. Ethan was just the latest, fraying like cheap fabric. The motel wasn't cursed. Sheriffs found me in the lobby, muttering to myself, hands scratched raw. They searched the motel and found the box photos of me with those women. their eyes wide with terror, my face blank. The notebook detailed each one. Sarah. Too curious. Lily. Too loud. Anna. Too close. My handwriting. Undeniable. No Norman. No mother's body. Just me. A deputy asked who I was. The voice in my head hers. Mine whispered. Mother said, don't tell. They cuffed me. Their faces pale. In the station's interrogation room, I stared into the glass. The man staring back had my face, but not my eyes. His were hollow, smiling too sharp. They asked my name. Depends on the day, I said. My voice calm while I screamed inside. Ethan was slipping away, drowned by the others. I try to cling to Ethan's life. I loved someone once. Right. A woman with a laugh like summer. I cried when she left. Or was that another me? The memories blur, like the desert through a cracked windshield. Maybe Ethan died years ago, and I'm just his echo, playing a role until it's time to switch. I blinked, and I was back at the motel, behind the desk. The bell dinged. A woman walked in, dusty from the road, asking for a room. I smiled, my voice smooth as glass. Welcome to Desert Rose Motel. My mother's resting upstairs. Don't wake her. She took the key to room 4, her footsteps fading down the hall. My fingers twitched. Ready. I used to sign my name under a fake one, thinking it'd keep me safe. Now I don't know who I ever was. One thing's certain. No one checks out of this place as themselves. And the Desert Rose. It's always got a vacancy under my name. She won't check out either. Story 3. I checked into that motel with 8 strangers. Now there's no one left, except me, and I'm not sure I ever existed. The rain in Arizona doesn't scream. It whispers. Like a sin you can't confess. It's been falling for hours. Relentless. Turning the highway into a slick black mirror. My delivery van's wipers are losing the fight, and I'm bone tired. A neon sign flickers ahead. Desert Exit Motel. It's the kind of place you'd miss if you blinked. But I don't have a choice. I pull in. 8 others are already there, huddled in the dim lobby like wet dogs. There's a woman in a too short skirt, a grizzled Marine vet, a kid clutching a stuffed rabbit, a cop with a 1,000-yard stare, a pregnant woman, a twitchy guy in a suit, an older lady with a rosary, and a quiet man who keeps checking his watch. They're all soaked, all avoiding eye contact. No one's here by choice, but no one's saying why. The air smells like mildew and regret. The motel clerk is a hunched old man who doesn't look up from his ledger. His hands shake as he slides keys across the counter. I'm paired with George, the Marine. He's built like a brick wall, with eyes that don't blink enough. As we head to room 7, he grabs my arm, his grip like a vice. I know your face, he whispers, voice low and certain. You've killed before? I laugh it off, but my heart stumbles. I've never met this guy. Why does his accusation feel like a memory? A scream rips through the night. Sharp enough to cut glass, we all spill into the hallway. Barefoot, half-dressed. The cop kicks open room 4. Lisa, the older lady with the rosary, is sprawled on the bed. Her mouth is stuffed with a plastic bag. Her wrists bound with a phone charger cord. No blood. No signs of a struggle. The door was locked from the inside. I stare at her body, and a chill crawls up my spine. I know exactly how she died. Not because I saw it, but because I can imagine every detail. Like I've done it before. No one panics. That's the weird part. The cop mutters about calling for backup. But there's no signal. The pregnant woman just stares at the body, unblinking. The kid giggles from somewhere in the dark hallway. Or maybe it's my imagination, the guy in the suit. Paul pulls me aside. "This isn't a motel," he says, his breath sour. "It's a purge. A cleansing." I want to call him crazy, but the words stick in my throat. Everyone's watching each other, like we're all waiting for the next move in a game we didn't agree to play. I can't sleep. George is snoring, but his hand's on a knife under his pillow. I slip out, wandering the motel. Room 3's door is ajar, though no one was assigned there. Inside, there's a leather-bound ledger on a dusty table. I flip it open. 9 names, handwritten in ink. George, Lisa, Joy, Paul, the cop, the kid, the pregnant woman, the quiet man, and me. Noah Reyes. At the bottom, in faded typewriter font, only one can remain. My hands shake as I close the book. The rain outside sounds louder, like it's trying to tell me something. Morning never comes, but someone screams again. This time, it's Joy, the woman in the short skirt. She's in the bathroom of room 9, curled up in the tub, her body charred black, but there's no smoke, no ash, no heat. The tiles are ice cold. The burn marks on the wall, they're identical to the ones in my dad's old trailer, the one that went up in flames when I was a kid. I back away, my chest tight. I've been here before, not this motel, but this moment, this death. The motel feels wrong. My phone's dead, no signal, no clock. The rain never stops, but the sky stays a bruised gray. No sunrise, no stars. Paul's pacing the lobby, muttering. "I don't remember driving here," he says. "I don't even know if I own a car." I catch my reflection in a cracked mirror. The man staring back has my face, but his eyes are wrong, hungry, like they belong to someone else. There's one door in the hallway no key fits. Room 13. I don't know why I need to get inside, but I do. I shoulder the door until the lock splinters. Inside, it's not a motel room, it's a medical lab. An electric chair with leather straps sits in the center. Wired to a brainwave monitor, stacks of files line the walls, each labeled with a name from the ledger. I open mine. It's a psych eval for Noah Reyes. Dissociative identity disorder. 9 documented alters. 9 personalities. I read the last line. Primary personality must be eliminated for integration to succeed. Back in the lobby, everyone's unraveling. George repeats Lisa's prayers. The cop mimics Paul's nervous tics. The kid speaks in Joy's voice. They're blurring together, like they're all pieces of the same broken machine. The quiet man corners me. "I'm number 6, he says, his voice flat. "You're number 1, the original. That's why they want you gone." I don't know what's real anymore. Am I Noah, or am I just the first lie? The lobby's mirror is huge, framed in chipped gold. I look into it, and all 9 of them are there. Standing behind me, Lisa, Joy, George, the others. One by one, their reflections fade, until it's just me. Then my face vanishes. 2. The mirror shows only the electric chair from room 13, glowing under fluorescent lights. I touch the glass. It's warm, like skin. I can't stay here. I sprint to the glowing exit sign, kick the door open, and stumble through only to find myself back in the lobby. Joy's there, her burnt face grinning. Her voice is deep. Male. Wrong. "You can't kill me," she says. I'm still here. The others reappear, one by one, like the night never happened. The rain keeps falling. The ledger's back on the table, open to my name. It's just me and the kid now. Lily, She's sitting cross-legged in the lobby, her stuffed rabbit stained with something dark. She looks up, her eyes too old for her face. "You're the last one," she whispers. "But you're not the one who deserves to stay." She pulls a kitchen knife from behind her back. I don't move. I don't fight. I just smile. "Then let me go," I say. She lunges. I wake up strapped to a chair, electrodes taped to my skull. A doctor's face hovers above me, her voice calm. "We've been trying to erase the altars, Noah, but one's still hiding. It's clever. It knows how to lie." Through the observation window, I see nurses, orderlies, all staring. I smile back. They don't know who won. The doctor leaves me alone with a monitor. It's showing footage from the motel. I'm there, staring into the camera, my voice clear. I don't want to be erased. I'm the only part that knows how to lie. On the screen, I stand. The straps fall away like they were never fastened. The monitor cuts to static, a hiss like rain. Only one gets to stay. If you're hearing this, maybe I won. Maybe I'm the part that survived. But ask yourself this: who are you when every other piece of you has been erased? The rain's still falling. Somewhere, a neon sign flickers, and I'm still here,